The topic of today's story is the selfish man. Long, long ago, the rains had not come. Trees and grass dried up. Animals were all dying of thirst. There was a man in the rural areas who had a wife and 2 children. They were hungry and suffering, and only a little maize meal remained. On the day the man said, "I'm going to the forest. Maybe I can find some animal to kill for food." The man walked in the forest for a long distance. After a long walk, the man beheld a big tree full of juicy ripe fruits. When the man shook the tree, the ripe fruits fell to the ground. The man picked and ate some of the fruits. He gathered some of the fruits to take home to his family. Along the way home, he was eating some of the fruits until he had nothing left. When he was given porridge at home, he refused. "Give that to the children. Give me only water." The wife was very surprised at the husband's behavior. Every day, the husband went to look for food, but did not bring anything back. The surprising thing was that, although he was not eating porridge at home, he looked very healthy. One day, the wife decided to follow the husband into the bush. She hid and saw him get to the fruit tree and eat the fruit. The wife then returned with her children and picked all the fruits and tied stones to the branches. The next day, the man returned to the fruit tree as usual. At home, the wife continued to cook the porridge as usual. The next day, the man went back and shook the tree as usual. He was surprised to find that he was being hit by stones. He limped back home, hungry and with wounds caused by the stones. The wife only gave the man water as usual. "Hey woman, is this the food you want to give me?" The wife said. "What did I do wrong? You used to take water only. What has changed?" "Oh, my husband, I see you have wounds on your head. What happened?" "I was attacked by some men." The wife just laughed and said, "Ha ha ha, why are you lying? I saw you eating from the fruit tree alone. I'm the one who put those stones in the tree." The man was embarrassed. "I'm very sorry, my wife, for being selfish and not sharing with you and the children. Please forgive me."